Case study by Kimber Weedle. What happened was Miguel was paralyzed from the waist down during a football game. It happened when he was hit. It happened close to the fourth quarter of the football, or the end of the fourth quarter of the football game. And it happened at Nottingham High School in the football field. That was his school, so it was a home game for him on a Friday night. Legal and ethical issues. It's more legal issues here. Miguel was denied some classes because of his wheelchair. He was denied staying in his biology class. This biology class was a prereq for his university that he wanted to go to. They put him in a science class that did not work for the university. So in that process, they were struggling with FAPE, which is free appropriate public education. He was not given the appropriate education that he deserved, which then also reflected on a 504 Rehabilitation Act in 1973, which prohibits discrimination based on a disability. He was being discriminated because of a wheelchair. They said the class was not wheelchair accessible, which also affects with IDEA, which Individual with Disability Education Act. All of these follow with discrimination because of a disability. So, to summarize in one sentence, Miguel was paralyzed during a high school football game and is now being denied a biology class he needs because of his wheelchair. Synthesize. So, we have the principal, who I'm imagining I am. We have Miss Gusman, who is a counselor. Miguel Hernandez, who is the student and football player. Mr. and Mrs. Hernandez, which is Miguel's parents. And Howard Carey, who is Mr. and Mrs. Hernandez's attorney. Places, so it originally happened on Nottingham High School football field, and now it's happening within the classroom of Nottingham High School. This is in Dover. The program, it's a regular classrooms. This high school is federal funded, so yeah. Review. Could the conflict of the situation or the decision be damaging to the stakeholders or to the community? So the stakeholders are Miguel and the citizens. It could be damaging because if they do not allow him to take this biology class, Miguel's parents have the right to be suing the school. In that process, it is financially hurting the stakeholders. And the school's already struggling with financial, so that would be damaging to them, plus damaging to anything else the court sees necessary. And it's also going to affect morale in the whole school, everything like that. What individuals and groups have important stakes in the outcome? Miguel, Mr. and Mrs. Hernandez, the school board, and the community all have important stakes in how this is the outcome. It does not explain if all stakeholders have been involved. So from what the article said was that it's with the principal currently. So that means the school board has not been notified and the community has not been, which the community probably already knows about the injury. This all being involved, I do believe that I could have more information on this case, but I do think that I can come up with a solution. So the options you have: option 1, take no action. Option 2, move the biology class, even if it is just for that 1 hour, to a more wheelchair accessible classroom. Or option 3, find a way to make the classroom accessible to Miguel, so wheelchair accessible, which would probably already help other students. Evaluate the options. Option 1, do nothing. With this option, you're more likely going to be going to court. Doing nothing is breaking a lot of rules, a lot of laws that is protecting a child with disability. And so this option is probably not the best, might be the easiest in the short term, but in the long term, it will be the most difficult. Option 2, move the classroom. This will be difficult for the teacher if one, moving it just for his hour or moving it in general. That means that teacher has to move all of their items, which could be a mess, but it would be the outcome where Miguel could still attend the class. Option 3, find a way to make the classroom accessible. So they need to be able to find a way to make a ramp or somehow make that classroom that's currently there wheelchair accessible. This will probably cost more money in the long term, but yeah. Best option, I believe the best option for short-term situation would be option 2, to be able to move the class so Miguel has a chance to attend the classroom. With moving the classroom, you have options there where you can move it just for his hour and allow him to do the class in a certain classroom with other students, or you can move it permanently. But from what it sounds like, the building is a little old, so it might be best to find a classroom permanently. This will allow equal education for all students. My opinion, as a principal, I would choose option 2 in the short term. Move that classroom until we can figure out a way to be able to get the classroom currently to wheelchair accessible. I know that would cost money getting a grant, but I feel like those grants would be available for a school, even if they are low income or struggling with financials. They probably could find a grant to be able to make all of the mobile buildings outside of the school wheelchair accessible. This will allow for the school to not be sued for discrimination or anything like that in the long term. So I would honestly choose both option 2 and option 3. Option 2 would be able to get Miguel back into that classroom. Option 3 would open it up for all students to be able to be in that classroom. Thank you.